mean, in the end, it is just a building. But it's cool to be like, I was there. Cheers.
Do you celebrate your birthdays differently when that first digit changes? Well, I turned 40 this year, and my wife decided to celebrate by doing something really special for my birthday. All I knew about this surprise was that she was taking me on a trip, but she wouldn't tell me where. This was the first time in decades I'd be taking a vacation where I hadn't done all the planning. So I just enjoyed myself a morning tea and took it all in stride.
I still don't know where we're going.
Eventually, the cat was out of the bag. I'd covered my ears when she told me to during pre-flight checks so I wouldn't hear where we were going. But there was no mistaking that skyline when it came into view. We were landing in what is probably one of the top 10 most well-known cities in the world. Have you figured it out yet? Before we could get into any of Becca's secret plans for us, we had to check into our accommodations for this trip. The Carnegie Hotel in New York City.
Is that 11? So we were told that to power the lights in the room, you have to put one of the cards in this little slot over here. So I'm going to try it out. Aha!
Hey.
Let there be light.
The Carnegie Hotel has a music and entertainment theme as it is directly across the street from Carnegie Hall. Being a hotel, it came with the basic setup of a bed and bathroom, but that was all we needed for this trip.
Yep, there's your fridge.
Complimentary water. Save that for later.
Alright, this is open. It does. That's loud. Don't need that. Took an hour to get here from the airport in traffic that I'm not used to because, this traffic here is a living organism. The way they're weaving in and out of each other, kind of worried me a little bit. But hey, we made it safe. And now I'm tired, but I'm hungry too. Time to go get some food.
For our first meal in Manhattan, of course we had to get some pizza. There are hundreds of options throughout the city, but we chose 99-cent fresh pizza since it was only a couple blocks from our hotel and we could bring it back to our room.
Cheers.
Cheers. Got a nice crisp crust under there. I think because mine was in there twice where the cheese wasn't, so mine is more crispy.
It was so cheap and so quick.
I know, right?
Delicious.
Basic cheese was $1. I think the pepperoni and the sausage one reached $1.75.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Being one of the most famous urban parks in America, there is no taking a vacation to New York City without a visit to Central Park. It can be difficult though to grasp just how much space the park takes up. You could literally spend an entire day doing nothing but exploring Central Park and still not see all of it. That is why we only took a light stroll through a portion of the park and stopped by one of its most famous landmarks, Bethesda Terrace and Fountain. Of course, I always think of the films that took place here, like Home Alone, The Avengers, and John Wick Chapter 2. And speaking of films, That was the real reason we were cutting through Central Park. I'd been to Manhattan before, and like an idiot, there were a few places I missed on that first attempt. But Becca made sure I got to visit them this time.
Nobody steps on a church in my town.
For those that don't know, this is the church and apartment building that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man attacks in the original Ghostbusters from 1984. I am a huge fan of that film and missed stopping by places from that movie last time I was in Manhattan. And speaking of missed Ghostbusters locations...
Okay. Bye.
Now we just need doors to open and come barreling out. Second time in New York, and it's crazy. Like, I didn't actually come here the first time.
So, what do you think?
Well, I mean, in the end, it is just a building. But it's cool to be like, hey, I was there. I'm curious if I'll get in trouble for touching the door. Alright, so how often does something happen and there's all these tourists and you're like taking photos with the Ghostbusters, they're like, get out of the way, we got a fire to get to.
Now, if only we had a 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor ambulance to go with this.
So let's move over to the ecto one. And this one almost was in a movie. It was literally built for the latest Ghostbusters movie.
Really?
But COVID hit, and the guy couldn't wait any longer. He had spent an enormous amount of money literally preparing the car. And it's a very rare model. If you've ever seen Ghostbusters cars out and about,
Yeah, they can be at like just a wreck rust bucket, and if it's the right model year, they'll still go for a ton of money.
absolutely, because 1959 they only made 400 of these Miller Meteor examples. They were either ambulances or hearses.
Yeah.
But let's see, before we go any further, I have to be sure that
I've got one of those at home.
he is a geek. Yeah.
My office has all kinds of Back to the Future and Ghostbusters
I
stuff
gotta
in
check
it.
on him then, right? Okay.
You have a ghost trap?
Yes, I do have a ghost trap at home.
Do you have a Slimer?
I do not have a Slimer. I have a bunch of little mini Stay Puffs, but no Slimer. And I don't have that.
Yeah, Beastie Boy. Yeah.
So Ghostbusters was the first movie I was ever at in theaters. I was 1 year old, so I don't remember it,
Really?
but it's the first movie I was at in theaters.
That's what initiated you then.
Uh-huh.
So take a look at the inside, which is...
Oh, it's got all the stuff in there.
Sure does, yeah.
But I mean, it's even got like the little bed thing to wheel out and everything. Yeah, gurney, that's the word I was looking for. No, I see that's like, so those are the ones that are from the Spirit Halloween ones. I've got one of those as well, and I've like refurbished it with some of the parts to make it a little better and put like new LED stuff in it. But then if I'm not mistaken, that's the Hasbro one down there. I've got that one too.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah, they put out a special edition Hasbro one where you had to like pre-order it, and it was never going to be for sale in stores, and so you had to buy it ahead of time, and then they made it and ship it out to people.
Did they not put it in stores?
They're not in stores. If you didn't buy it from, it's Hasbro's little website when they do pre-order, because they're like Hasbro Labs is what it's called, and they put out like one-offs that you have to. If enough people pre-order it, they'll make it.
Yeah.
But if they don't hit enough people, they're like, well, sorry, we're not going to make this one.
And they give
And
you
that one, that pack blew out the numbers.
I
So.
bet it did. So, would you like to sit in the back?
I'm not going to say no to that. Like I was like, I want to touch the things, but I'm not going to touch it unless I'm told I can touch it. Oh heck yeah, I am. Oh goodness. Oh wow.
There you go. And then pick up the phone. Okay. And then say, who are you going to call?
Who are you going to call? Oh goodness. Oh man. No, I am absolutely all of this kid in the candy store stuff.
Yeah.
I know.
Wonderful.
We don't have a barn for you to put all your stuff. You're limited to your little office.
Yeah, like I have much smaller, like I have a very small version of this. I want to thank Bill Shea so much for opening his home to us and letting us come and see his collection. It was awesome. And we're going to see more of him a little later in a future episode. To catch that future episode, make sure you subscribe or else Gozer wins. I mean it. Don't make him cross the streams. Wait, we can't leave Ecto 1 behind just yet. I mean, we've got to hear it first, right? Fucking idiot.